Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to have our lesson. We'll call this our social studies lesson on the Olympics. What are the Olympics? Well, there's a reason we're having this lesson. It's a two-fold reason. That means there's two reasons, and they're both very similar and appropriate to our classes. The first one is the Summer Olympics were going to be held this very summer coming up, except because of the COVID-19 virus, they were canceled so that people won't get together and get sick. Then the other reason is we were going to have at Fairmont Heights High School Regional Center our own version, our own special Olympics, and we were going to go out on the track. In fact, we started training for that before school got closed. So, what is the Olympics? What's it all about? This is a little history lesson on what are the Olympics. Now, let's look over here. Let's look at these people, these athletes. Oh, you'll notice this sign over here says London 2012. That's when this slideshow was put together, when the Olympics were being held in London way back in the year 2012. This is the year 2020 coming up. So that was 8 years ago. So that's like 2 Olympics ago. Now let's read this. During the Olympics, athletes are the people who do the sports. And these are pictures of athletes all standing here. Notice how they all look very athletic. They all look very strong. They have no extra weight on them. They're very, very fit people. Athletes come together from all over the world to compete in sports. To compete means to see who's the best. The first Olympics took place in ancient times. That means a long, long time ago. Longer ago than I'm even old. That was so long ago. They took place in a country called Greece. The first games were in 776 BC. That's before the Christian era, over 2,700 years ago. A long time ago. And this is a picture probably from a clay pot or from a wall hanging showing runners running in the Olympics. And this was probably a baton race where they handed the baton back and forth. The ancient Greeks had lots of wars, but every 4 years they called a truce, called peace. It's where they stopped fighting, and their best athletes competed in sport to honor their gods Zeus and Hera. The ancient Greek Olympics took place every 4 years for over 1,000 years. That was a long time. They were finally ended by a Roman emperor named Theodosius I, who was a Christian and didn't like Greek gods being worshipped. 1,500 years after that, after World War I, which was a very bad war, especially in France, a Frenchman named Pierre de Freddy, Baron de Coubertin, came up with the idea of starting the Olympics again to promote world peace through sports competition. Even though he had that idea after World War I, the first modern Olympics were held in 1896 in Athens, Greece. Greece was chosen as the first host country to honor the Games. The modern Olympics are split into separate competitions for summer and winter games, each held once every 4 years. The Olympics take place every 2 years, but it alternates between summer and winter sports. For instance, this coming summer would be the Summer Olympics. Then in 2 years would be the Winter Olympics. Then 2 years after that, the Summer Olympics again. Then 2 years after that, the Winter Olympics. So there would be 4 years between Winter Olympics, but only 2 years between Winter and Summer Olympics. After World War II, a British doctor named Ludwig Guttmann thought that sport competition like the Olympics would help the men who had been badly injured in the war. The British competition he organized for men in wheelchairs grew into a worldwide Olympic movement called the Paralympics. So, after he had organized this and spent a lot of money and energy getting men and women together, the first Paralympic Games were then held in Rome, Italy in 1960 and involved over 400 athletes from 23 countries. And here's a team right here, Chinese team competing. In the 1960s, a woman named Eunice Kennedy Shriver wanted athletes with intellectual differences like autism and Downs to have the same chance to compete, and she called these games the Special Olympics. Now, the first international Special Olympics Summer Games were held at Soldier Field in Chicago, Illinois in 1968. 1,000 individuals with intellectual disabilities from 26 U.S. states and Canada competed in track and fields and swimming. Athletes work very hard at their sports for many years to try to make the team for the Olympics team from their country. Only the very best athletes from each country are picked to compete. It's very exciting and a great honor to be an Olympic athlete. The athletes that win in their sports at the Olympics are awarded special medals. First place gets a gold medal, second place gets a silver medal, and third place gets a bronze medal. And new medals are designed for every competition. The Olympics are shown on TV all over the world, and many people travel to the Olympics to cheer their team on too. People are very proud of the athletes from their countries. They're young men and women who have worked very hard to excel and to exceed, to do their best at their sport. That's the end of today's lesson. Our next lesson will go a little bit more into some of the specifics about the Olympics. Bye. See you later.